Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. We are here today for the deal. Let me make sure my camera's right. Is my camera good on me like that? There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. All right, what's going on? How's everybody doing today, man? Thank y'all for tuning in to another DnL&x Fitness live stream show. Let me get this microphone right. There we go. That's better. All right. We can hear me a whole lot better. Thank y'all for tuning in today for another show that we got lined up for you today. Today we're going to tackle, today we're going to tackle our 4 topics. We're going to do the fitness, of course. We're going to see what the muscle of the day is going to be, and then we're going to look over some fitness fails and then have somebody, actually a guy named Greg Doucette, who's in the fitness community. He's going to talk about basically somebody who is a really good, well-known influencer in the community. Basically, he's going to speak on his blood panel and the stuff that he takes and how he progresses forward with his career. Then we're going to slide over to the humor, but I don't think we have anything humor today. We're going to switch over and move on forward to the economy portion of the show. And then within the economy portion of the show, we're going to look up a few things that we have going on there. And then to the AI portion for the final go at the very end, because China has been putting out some AI clips lately, basically clowning the United States if they were to basically try to manufacture and create their own stuff. And the way they did it, man, it looks pretty darn bad. I mean, they got the U.S. looking pretty sad because everybody that they show in the factory doing manufacturing work, trying to make America great again, is all fat and obese. It's pretty sad, yes. Yeah, so they got the U.S. looking pretty dirty, man. Doing people grimy out here, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Let me make sure I turn my phone down and turn my phone off real quick. I don't want to have too much sound in the background. There we go. We're good. There we go. But yeah, with that being said, we got a good show lineup for you today. Just know that we are simultaneously streaming on 4 different platforms. We're on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble all at the same time. We're on all 4 platforms at the same time, so go on to whichever one. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor, if you don't mind, hit that. You're gonna give it to me? No? They're not gonna give it to me? No, they're doing me dirty today. There we go. Hit the like button. That's what you see right there. Hit the like button if you're on YouTube or any platform, Rumble, YouTube, whatever you're on. Hit the like button, get the algorithm out if you want to contribute to today's show. Right there, you're going to see the Cash App and the Venmo right there. Cash App Daniel2888. Venmo Daniel-Daniel-00. Yes. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move into today's show because we got a nice little interesting show that we get to put on for you today. So let's go ahead and move right into it. Make sure we got the banner right, and we're going to get this all fixed and taken care of. So let me see here. First thing we're going to go ahead and get into is going to get into the fitness portion of the show. We're going to get into some fitness fails to kind of sit back and watch and see what's going on. And of course, like I always say, we're not going to watch anybody get their bones broken or anything like that, because I personally can't watch that. It's just a little bit too graphic. But we are going to see some people do some mishaps and make some mistakes and get a nice little, enjoyment to start the show off with before we dive deeper into it. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and pull up the first portion of the show. Let me go ahead and get this up on the screen. Bam, there it is. Let me change that banner because that is the wrong one. Bam, there we go. We got the fitness banner up. And let's see, these scenes are purely the author's invention, allegedly. So let's see what we got here, and if there's music playing, probably gonna have to press mute on the music, on the volume, because I do not want to get a copyright for said music. So let's go ahead and play this video and see what we got here. Let's go.
Huh? Boom. Oh, Jesus, man. Bam.
Oh, Yaga. She got Yaga'd. You saw that coming. You already knew that was messed up.
Pow, pow,
oh,
really
I thought she was going to do it between her legs like they always do.
I feel like it's faster to just pull them down with your hands. But that's fine.
Oh,
he just wanted a quick turn on the bar.
Really?
It's rewind time.
It was the extra propulsion he never asked for. They perfectly understood each other without a single word. This is the exercise to try and get your ex out of your head. Back in my day, We used a broom to sweep. Do people at the gym have no spatial awareness? Uh-oh! This looks like an unexpected test for both of them. One got to challenge her stabilizing muscles, the other, her reflexes.
Oh, and just in the mirror, she kept stepping. Oh, no.
She caught it with her face. CrossFit, because normal workouts weren't painful enough. Bro treating weights like a shoe store.
There's no way. He
Wait
don't got
until
on
he
them weights
realizes
over
they're
there.
not single use.
No way.
Some people gotta learn the hard way. Usually you knock on the door, but today the door knocked on him.
Oh.
Years of training, discipline, and dedication. All undone in a single moment. A sneeze, a fart, and a silent plea for this interview to end. The real winner here? The interviewer's self-control. Gym janitors have seen it all, but even she wasn't ready for this.
So yeah,
Bro
let me
was
go back over here.
unstoppable until he met his greatest enemy, a freshly mopped floor.
That's what you
Treadmill was
get.
set to instant regret
That's what
mode.
you get.
He carefully picked his treadmill, just not carefully enough.
Oh,
On the
he's not
bright
paying
side,
attention.
that protein shake is perfectly mixed now.
Nice.
Bro out here doing head nods and calling it pull-ups. This is less of a workout and more of a dominance display.
I mean,
What the dog doing?
what is it? Isometric
At least
hold?
the
At
bar
least he's
knows
holding
who's in
himself
charge
up.
now, especially after that bark.
He was holding
Bring
himself
gyms to
up,
the
so that
gym.
counts for something.
Yeah, whatever they're blaming him for, he definitely did it. I mean, he probably just talked to a girl. Straight to prison.
Really?
Pain is temporary. Symmetry is forever. She wanted to scream, but she held it in like a true warrior. Now she just needs to drop, one on the other foot to keep things even.
A woman is pregnant with 2 babies. They are called twins. When a woman is pregnant with 3 babies, they are called blank.
3 babies? Triceps.
The confidence in that answer is
Triceps.
Two
All right.
babies, biceps, 3 babies, triceps, 4 babies, quadriceps, 6 babies, 6 packs, 10 babies, tendons. Triceps were getting cooked,
Let him cook! Let him cook now!
but so was the cable. Now he's in full detective mode, investigating the crime scene.
Huh?
When daycare is
You
too
gotta pay for that,
expensive,
bro.
but gains are free. 1 baby, light.
Join Google Fi Wireless.
Oh
and
no,
get
they did me
$800 off
dirty.
Samsung.
No, they did me dirty. Oh, YouTube, why you do me like that? Come on. Come on. That's just brutal. Oh man. Well, hopefully she didn't drop the baby, because I was kind of thinking it was gonna get to that point, because we've been seeing fails everywhere. Let me see if she drops the baby. If she dropped the baby, please don't drop the child. Come on, lady. Don't fall with the baby in your hand. Don't do it. Let me just check real quick to make sure. I can't be watching on what lady drop it. Okay, cool. She didn't drop the baby. She's good. That was good enough for right there, man. Of course, you know, we got to watch a little bit of few fails and whatnot, and had a little other commentary than myself talking. But, you know, they're in the gym, giving people a round of applause. We got to give them a round of applause for doing their thing in the gym. So, yeah, shout out to those people. I mean, hey, as long as you get yourself in the gym or not the gym, you can do at-home workouts. You know, if you can't make it to the gym, you can always work out at home and get your workout in. Oh, don't hit that. Yeah. You can always get your workout in at home. If you're not able to get any workout in, then of course you can always go to today's sponsor of the show, which is yours truly. You can always get a workout in at the house if you type on or go to YouTube and go to DnL&x Fitness and go to the video portion of the tab, and you will see yours truly give you dedicated at-home workouts. Upper body, lower body, abs, back, full body, you name it, we got it for you. So with that being said, if you cannot make it to a gym, you ain't got no excuses. I got you covered on every basis possible. Yes, every basis. So get your tail in the gym. Don't be lazy. Have a healthy diet. If you need any coaching or whatnot, you can also hit the email. We can set you up on a coaching and diet plan to get you right. But if you can't get to the gym and you just need to get something going, regardless of where you're at, you got meeting schedule, you're busy, you're in Thailand, Taiwan, Japan, China, or wherever you're at in the world with internet that can get you to a channel, go ahead and let me get you right and click on DnL&x Fitness and we'll get you going. Yes, so go ahead and make sure you do that, because nobody does it better than yours truly. Yes, thank you. All right, and then with that being said, speaking of working out and getting your workout in, we had a gentleman here who posted a selfie at the gym today. And he shows his progress that he made. He did a post-workout post to kind of show what he's been doing and, you know, to kind of show that the effort that he's been putting in. Basically let you know that, hey, he's getting that work in and he ain't playing around. So let's go ahead and pull up this gentleman on the screen and let's see what he says. Let's see what we got here. There we go right here. We got this guy on the screen. He's showing he's sweating. He's got his selfie on. He goes, day 1 at the gym. Just finished taking the shit. Let's start the workout. Bruh. How they said, we listen and we don't judge. I'm not going to judge you, but at least you still getting your workout in. I'm going to blame it. I'm going to blame it on the fact that you carved up before you came in and you had your pre-workout. So you're just kind of running through you. So yeah, the sweats, we're not going to comment on that, but we're just going to say that you took your pre-workout and you're, you know, ready to go. You know, you got your pre-workout kicking, it's pulsing through your body. You ate like a nice carb before you got there and, you know, you're ready to get it in. You know what I mean? You know, sweating and all, but hey, it is what it is, you know. It is what it is, so. What the fuck? As long as he's in the gym, he's got my vote. So, whoops. Shout out to that guy right there. Let's give him a round of applause. Good job, buddy. Good job. Yeah. Yeah, don't, and then if you're sweating like that before you know, if you're sweating like that while taking a number 2, I don't know. No comment. None whatsoever. But he's at the gym. He said he's going to exercise after he gets to taking a dump. So I'm here for it. All right. Next thing we got here is we got Greg Doucette, who has made it on the show today. He's going to talk about another influencer by the name of Alex Eubanks. And we're going to hear how this influencer basically goes about, you know, getting his gains and then promoting his fitness content, or how he basically kind of runs his business with his fitness, and just to kind of give you a look on how things are done and to give a good understanding as to everybody does things differently. Some people take the natty route, some people don't. However, the way the world works, or at least the way things are looking, if you're not natty, it seems like your pockets are fatty. You know what I mean? That's just the way it looks like, the way the world works. If you're not natty, then your pockets are gonna be fatty. But let's go ahead and pull this up and let's let Greg Doucette talk about Alex Eubanks, and he's gonna give us further detail of what it is that he's doing to attain the physique that he has and how he's looking so incredible for his physique, I might add, because he does look good. Pause. But let's just take a look at it. Let's put him up on the screen and let's let Mr. Doucette take it away. Let's go.
We're going over Alex Eubanks' brand new blood work. Was he in fact lying about his HRT dose? Is he on more testosterone than last time? Is he healthy? Let's get right into it.
Alex before was probably like around 170 to 175 pounds. Now I'm around 185 to 187 pounds with the same level of like leanness.
Alex originally had been on 200 milligrams of test a week. And since that time, in a matter of about 4 months, he's put on 15 pounds of muscle, maintaining close to single-digit body fat. And so he says, I think this is the best my physique has ever looked. Well, obviously, it's not I think, it clearly is. 15 pounds of pure muscle.
If you guys remember, I started taking 200 milligrams of test a week when I started. So that's the max dose you can get prescribed from a doctor. And I agree now, 100% that was too high.
And so he admits that myself and others says that is too high. He was on the max dose that could be prescribed by a doctor. Now, that's not actually true. Many doctors are going to prescribe even more, but should they? Of course they shouldn't. And
The truth is, behind closed doors, the P word
Okay, sorry about that. We're back. All right, I had a situation come up that was kind of important, and the phone call was really important. We're gonna run it back, and I couldn't hear what he was saying, so we're gonna go ahead and start it back to where he was, and let's just run it back again. See what Greg Doucette is talking about Alex Eubanks. Here we go. Oh crap, I can't hear him. Wait, hold on, Greg. There we go.
Blood work. Was he in fact
Did I hit the button? I did hit the button. Okay, cool. Oh, there it is. Gotcha.
lying about his HRT dose? Is he on more testosterone than last time? Is he healthy? Let's get right into it.
Alex before was probably like around 170 to 175 pounds. Now I'm around 185 to 187 pounds with the same level of like leanness.
Alex originally had been on 200 milligrams of test a week. And since that time, in a matter of about 4 months, he's put on 15 pounds of muscle, maintaining close to single-digit body fat. And so he says, I think this is the best my physique has ever looked. Well, obviously, it's not I think, it clearly is. 15 pounds of pure muscle.
If you guys remember,
All right, so he is on some kind of gear or test or whatever you want to say. I don't know what kind or what the name of it is, but he is on something in particular, which, you know, has got him looking the way he looks. And he's down to single digit body fat. So single digit means 9% body fat and down, single digit. So to look the way that he looks, at least the way he did it, is he did it through, I don't know what to call. I guess you could just say it's a drug or whatever. He did it through, you know, enhancements, you know, through a drug to get the physique that he looks. However, like I said, if you are not natty, then your pockets are gonna look fatty, and that's just the way the industry goes. I'm not hating, I'm not knocking it, I'm just stating a fact. But just to get a good understanding, different people run their programs differently. He tends to do it that way, and he's doing a good job. So shout out to him, kudos to him, and let's continue with this video.
I started taking 200 milligrams of test a week when I started, so that's
200 milligrams of testosterone a week. Sheesh. And I think he said his test levels was like around 1,500, if I'm not mistaken.
the max dose you can get prescribed from a doctor. And I agree now, 100% that was too high.
And so he admits that
So he was taking the max dose of 200. And it was too high, but let's see.
myself and others says that is too high. He was on the max dose that could be prescribed by a doctor. Now, that's not actually true. Many doctors are going to prescribe even more, but should they? Of course they shouldn't. And so what happens with HRT clinics oftentimes is they prescribe the maximum dose that they're allowed. And what do I think is happening? Well, they're hoping that you get a problem. Yeah, sure, they want you to have more muscle, they want you to feel good, but when you prescribe the maximum dose, let's call it 200 as Alex got, they know that most of the time there's going to be things that are not going to be ideal. For example, cholesterol levels are going to be out of whack, the liver, kidneys, etc. And so after they get their blood work taken again, they then have to introduce polypharmacy. Blood pressure high, telmisartan. LDL too high, you're given a statin. Hair loss, finasteride. Libido in check, let's give you Cialis and Viagra. And why not just prescribe everyone HCG even though you don't actually need it?
Stop it.
Oh, okay. So I get what he's saying. So the doctors know they're over-prescribing him is what he's saying. And when he overprescribed, they know that all of these other things are going to come back out of whack, and then they're just going to give you more drugs. The more drugs they give you, the more money they make. Who knew? So basically, you end up going in for a test, but they give you a high dosage on purpose, knowing that, all right, when he gets on this high dosage, you know, we know that this is going to be wrong, this is going to be wrong, and this is going to be wrong. We're just going to bank on him or her, whoever's taking it. We're going to bank on that, and we're going to turn around and give him these other things to level out or even out all these things that went out of whack. And really, I think they could just, like, pull back the dosage or stop giving them a dosage, my opinion. Stop giving them the dosage, let everything even back out, and then go back in and give them a 50% or 20% of the dosage amount that they were already giving them, because they were already giving them 100%. So then once you cut them back, let everything even out, then ease them in with like a 20% amount and see what that does. Ease them in with whatever 25% and go from there. But they're saying that basically they're banking on knocking your stuff out of whack, which is basically what he's saying.
Get some help.
And so rather than starting with the lowest dose that makes you happy, which is what I preach, for example, why not start with 100 milligrams? And if that doesn't work, let's add in 20. And if that's not enough, add in 20 more, versus giving you the maximum dose where you put on 12, perhaps 15 pounds of muscle, and then you have to now lower the dose. And once you've had the feeling of having 200 milligrams in your body, are you really going to want to go lower? Oftentimes you don't, and instead of that, you continue to blast 200, perhaps you even go higher, and you now have to use polypharmacy.
Exactly. So basically what he's saying is the doctors are playing the dope dealer, is what they're doing. They're giving you that raw, uncut, pure A1, and then they start to cut it back, but you done grew accustomed to the best pure A1 there is out there. You don't want no less than that. You already done got spoiled with the best. And then now they try to cut you back, but you're like, nah. Then I ain't coming back to you no more. So, I mean, that's all they're doing. That's really what he said in like a nutshell. To basically just sum it up, that's what happened. So, yeah.
Testosterone results were way too high. They came back at like 1,500 total tests, which was way higher than I wanted to be at. So I lowered my dose from that to 160 milligrams per week.
Previously, when tested, his testosterone levels were 1,500 nanograms per deciliter.
Sheesh. Testosterone at 1,500. I'm curious of what that would feel like. 1,500, and then, you know, if your free T levels, free T is like something that, from my understanding, when I had my blood work done, if your free T levels are high, that means it's binding up extra testosterone that should be released, and that'll go into your actual testosterone levels to raise your testosterone, because your free T levels are binding up the testosterone that should be used in your testosterone, if that makes any sense. So if he's 1,500 testosterone, his free T is low, then bro is on focus grind mode, which then explains that if you're not natty, your pockets are looking fatty, because the sheer, you know, focus and adrenaline and determination that testosterone gives you is unmatched. It's like the limitless pill. You know what I mean? Like that's really the best way to describe it. The limitless pill. If you've seen the movie Limitless, dude took the pill and his focus was on like a bajillion, and he was able to just conquer anything. But then, you know, you get addicted to that. You know what I mean? You're like, I want this all the time. You want to feel like that 24/7, 365. We all would love to, because we would just, I mean, we'll mess around and rebuild the Tower of Babel. But let me continue.
Now that he's lowered his dose to 160, it's currently at 932. Now remember,
dang. So he dropped it. It went from 200 to 160. He went from 1,500 testosterone to 932. But that's on test. He's at 932. I wonder how old he is. I wonder how old is Alex Eubanks? Let's find that out real fast. Let's see. Alex Eubanks age. How old are you? 24 years old. He got a birthday coming up. Be 25 soon. He's 24 years old, and bro is on testosterone. That I don't agree with. I don't agree with that. That is what I don't believe he should be doing. But again, if you're not natty, your pockets is looking fatty. But I don't agree with that. 24 on testosterone, I don't agree. Because, you know, life is, as you get older, you realize life is a marathon. You know what I mean? And you want to run this marathon as sufficiently as possible as you get older and stuff like that. So, like, going ham in the beginning, which you should, financially, you really should. But if it's going to hinder your health in the long run, which I hope it doesn't for him, then I don't think that's the way to go. Because the marathon is your health. The marathon is your health and your finances, your health and finances. So if you got to like sacrifice one over the other, I don't know. I just don't. Oh man, 24 on testosterone. I just don't see it. I think he could have a 932 testosterone level if he fixed his diet, worked out, and added like some kind of combat sports with this. So if he did the little trifecta, I think he could have that 932 at 24. Hell, he could have 1,100 or 1,200 at 24, I believe, if he, you know, just went the natural route. But hey, he's killing it, so shout out to him. Continue.
932 is still extremely high. even if he had done lower doses, for example, I'm doing 140, my test levels are between 550 and 765, and I feel perfectly fine, and I'm 49.
And then I'm still taking the HCG to help me with fertility.
And so considering he's greatly concerned about his fertility, what he should have been prescribed rather than HCG is actually enclomiphene. And the reason for that is you need to maintain FSH in order to maintain fertility.
Just got my...
Whew. I don't understand what all these things are, to be quite honest with you. I'm more of a simple guy. Less is more. Keep it simple. KISS, that method. So, I mean, it's like when you dive into all those extra things, then you have to understand what all this extra, I don't know. I could be just talking out my ass at that point, but just keep it simple. You know what I mean? That's how I would see it. Because then all this extra stuff that you compile in there from what he said earlier about the doctor gives you 200 knowing that it's too much. Now you got to add this drug for the cholesterol, add this drug for the libido, add this drug for this problem. And it's just like, now you're just on drugs at that point. Now you're just on full-blown drugs. And you're a drug addict in a legal manner. The hell with that.
My testosterone results back. I pinned roughly 18 to 24 hours before this drawing of my blood. We are at now 932.
And remember, he got this testing done 18 to 24 hours after administration. Had he waited 24 to 48 hours, the peak would have been much higher, and I'm certain it would have been well over 1,000 nanograms per deciliter.
Hey, stop training.
Oh, get off my screen, Brandon, whatever your name is. I hate it. YouTube, I got to get YouTube Premium, man, because they're going to keep busting up my screen with all this, with these ads. I'll get there eventually. I'll get there. You just got to bear with me. You know, we're still fresh on these live streams, so we're trying to get everything right. You know, the next thing I want to get right is a soundboard. But until then, we're going to keep pushing. Let's get back to the video. Here we go. Oh, wait, let me turn the volume on. All right, here we go.
Reference range for my clinic is 250 to 1100. Generally, I mean, accepted range is 300 to 900 in terms of what the natural range should be.
And so the general accepted natural range is 300 to 900. He's at 932 and likely higher than that had he been tested 2 days after the injection. And considering he's put on 15 pounds of muscle,
sheesh,
does anyone think that this is just replacement doses? These doses for...
I think so. I mean, if you look at him, man, 24 years old, put on 15 pounds of muscle with the extra doses he just took. I mean, he looked good, but, you know, what is it for? Well, again, I see what it's for. If you ain't natty, your pockets looking fatty. So he getting that bread. He's getting that bread, so I'm not going to knock him. I wish I had... Wait, where he getting the bread? That's it right there. That's what he doing. He getting that money, so shout out.
Anyone think that this is just replacement doses? These doses for his body are clearly super physiological. Now remember, I'm not saying he can't or shouldn't do that, but if he's trying to be healthy for as long as possible, these doses are still too high.
What I love about...
Exactly. That's what I said. 24, longevity. Like, you gotta... You got, man, nah. Like, this could have been your physique, my personal opinion. You could have hit this physique at like 35, 45 range. You know what I mean? Like 35, 45 range. When your body as a man over time naturally will fill out. And, you know, I think he could still attain that physique, but at like 35, between 35 and 45. 40, really, I would say. 35, 40, yeah. 35, 45. I think he could have did that then, but, you know, he doing it now and he raking in millions. So get that bread, homie.
About this is that I could still be very, very lean. And again, I'm not saying this to try to convince you to get on TRT. I'm purely giving you my own perspective of it when it has
TRT is what he said.
done for me. This is my job. I make money from this.
So clearly, Alex is making millions of dollars from having a physique like this and being very, very lean with a significant amount of muscle. And so you can't really blame him for wanting to do this. Clearly, it's working.
I feel better about myself, not even just like physically, but mentally. When I'm leaner, I feel like I operate better. I feel cleaner.
Not exactly sure what it means to feel cleaner. I mean, Alex, you can certainly go and take a shower once or twice a day. This is not a problem. I don't think that I feel cleaner when I'm on HRT. Perhaps I even sweat more, I have more energy and so on, but I don't feel the cleanliness.
I still have really good energy.
Hey, I agree with them on that. I've never taken any gear, but you taking a pre-workout and you start to feel that mud kick in, and you start getting a workout, you start sweating this stuff. I get what he's saying. I understand what he's saying. So I can only imagine if you're on some kind of gear, a TRT or something, and that's probably like a pre-workout that's just like hitting nonstop. But hey, whatever.
Levels. I don't have brain fog. I have good mental clarity. Like everything that I had that I didn't have when I was, having low testosterone, especially when I was lean, it's like that's fixed now.
And so personally, I think if that dose had been lowered from 200 to 100, he would feel all of these same things. And he would have much better blood work. Or let me think better still. If they had just started him on 100 milligrams in the first place, why not do that? Why are we working backwards? Let's prescribe the most dose and lower it rather than the lower dose and raising it.
Because they won't get paid as much money if they go low and go high. If they go high and go low, it's just like you said, Greg. Then you go too high and now all your other stuff is out of whack. So now they give them this drug and that drug and this drug, and they making money on each drug that you get them for knocking this stuff out of whack. Because why? He consented.
Side effects, I've noticed basically none. In my opinion, it's one of the best decisions I made for myself.
And so in terms of side effects, essentially he's saying he hasn't noticed any, and by that he means negative side effects. Certainly he's listed several of the positive ones, having more muscle, more energy, libido, lack of brain fog, all these things which are great. But here's the problem, Alex. You don't notice those negative side effects. For example, you've all heard that high blood pressure is the silent killer. It's silent because you don't notice it. Does anyone notice screwed up cholesterol, screwed up liver enzymes, screwed up kidney function when you're in your mid-20s? You don't notice it until it's too late. And remember, I've partnered with Transcend. You can get qualified medical doctors to go.
You slid right into the sponsorship, you sneaky bastard, you.
Stay quiet, not say anything like a lot of other people in the industry, and I will make my own grown man decisions. I could have chose to stay quiet, not say anything like a lot of other people in the industry do.
That's partially true, but not entirely, because here's the thing. If Alex had not stated he was on HRT and suddenly put on 15 pounds of muscle in 4 months, I would have made a video and said, Alex is not natural anymore. Does anyone think he could have gotten away with it? But that doesn't take away from the fact that he is being open, honest, and transparent. Now, despite the fact that Alex taking HRT is essentially the best ad for HRT I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he's put on 15 pounds, he has no negative side effects that he's aware of, and so indirectly, it's a huge ad for young people to take HRT.
Man, you see, Buddy was throwing up 315. I wonder how much he weighs. I don't think they told us his weight, but he put on 15 pounds of muscle. I'm just curious how much he weighs throwing up 315. Repping 315.
I mean, I'm watching this video, and if I were 100% natty, I'd probably be thinking, I want to be on HRT as well. Well, here's the reason why not. We're now going to go over his exact blood work.
We're gonna go over the blood work real quick so I can explain to you where I'm at with everything.
Here we go. This is something everybody should pay attention to. This right here is the main thing. Your blood work is very, very important, especially when Coach Greg just said, he spoke about the silent killers, the things you don't know about until it's too late. So always get your blood panel done. If you never had it done, get it done at some point in your life just to see where you're at. And then once you do it, you'll want to do it more and more throughout time. But this is very important. Let's see what we got.
Free, whether it's Derek or Greg, to dissect all of this and give your own personal opinion, perspective of it.
And so in terms of Derek and or Greg, there ain't no Derek anymore. Derek is in hiding. He's been called out for selling fake Ajuga Turkistanica by Coach Greg. It's been tested. They didn't have no turkesterone, 0.36 milligrams. In comparison, we have more turkesterone in one pill than he has in an entire bottle. The Turkplex and the Ectiplex, it's the same thing, simply with a different label. Oh, we don't promise we have any turkesterone. It's literally called Turkplex. The turkesterone molecule is on the label. And so no, Derek is not going to respond. Derek doesn't make videos anymore.
I was extremely dehydrated. I don't think I had water at all that entire morning.
Alex, what do you think you are, Eddie Hall? No, you're not dehydrated.
Severely dehydrated. Dehydrated. I'm just constantly dehydrated.
And so Alex, there's something known as serum osmolarity. And so when we look at your electrolytes, namely sodium, we could see it's nearly at the bottom of the reference range. And the lower it is, the more hydrated that you actually are. And so Alex, if you have a cup of salt water, how do you make it more hydrated? You make it less salty by adding in more water. That will cause the concentration to go down.
Sex hormone binding globulin, whatever the hell that is.
And so Alex, what sex hormone binding globulin is, that's SHBG, that's what actually binds to the testosterone, making it inactive. And so the more of that you have, the less testosterone you can use, and the less of it, the more testosterone you have that's made available.
So I definitely was dehydrated. I think that's why the BUN and the creatinine, whatever that is, was slightly elevated.
And so Alex, when your BUN and creatinine levels are elevated, it's known as azotemia. And considering that we know that you're not dehydrated, which could cause a slight elevation, we know that it's not because we've looked at your electrolytes. Now, when you showed us your natural labs, when you were natural, your creatinine was not.
If you want to learn how.
They got me again. Hey, but to be honest with you though, to pay attention to what he's talking about, he really is talking about some really interesting stuff. When you get your blood work done, you are going to want somebody who is knowledgeable to explain this to you. Like, you really do want somebody who is knowledgeable about all these things that they're naming, like the sex hormone globulin thingy they just mentioned, the creatines and all that stuff that's inside of your body, the albumin, the globulin, and your sodium, potassium. You want people to actually be able to explain these things, your iron, your calcium, your zinc, and all this stuff, to understand what your levels should be at and what's deficient, what's good, and what's too high. You know what I mean? Because too much anything is bad for you. I don't care what it is. So him having Greg going down and actually explaining some of these things, that's really important. And I was fortunate enough to have somebody explain it to me. So whenever you do get your blood work done, you want to do it with a company that can actually read your blood work back to you and explain these things. So shout out to Greg for that, who's explaining some of these things. And he's going through his own blood work and he's like, I don't know what that is, whatever that is. It's like, well, somebody should have like broke that down to you, you know? And you can't depend on your doctor necessarily 100% because that may not, I mean, they may or may not know exactly what all this stuff is. They may or may not. We assume so because they're doctors, but they may or may not know because, I mean, the treatment is, what's the old saying? It's in the treatment, not the cure. So, if he cures you, you ain't coming back. So he might not want to tell you. So, excuse me. Make sure that you get somebody who can explain yours. Who I went with whenever I did my blood work done was Ways to Well. Shout out to Ways to Well. I think they're based here in Austin, you know what I mean? So they did a good job with me, and that's probably who I'll end up going back to whenever I do get my blood work done again. It's probably been like 2 years since I had it done, maybe 3, but whatever. But that's who I went with and kind of got the whole rundown and explained everything out to you. So shout out to them. If you ever want to look for your blood work to get done, check out Ways to Well. I also did the microbiome where they checked your gut health and through your fecal matter, as nasty as it sounds. But you also want to know what your health is with that, because your gut health ties to your brain health, believe it or not. So if your body's not absorbing your nutrients properly, then you could be doing all this work and not getting the full benefits of the food that you're eating, because things and bad enzymes and parasites and bacteria could be blocking and messing up your digestive system, or messing up the way your body absorbs the nutrients whenever it gets digested. But let's continue. I got it back up. Let's continue. Here we go. And here is, I guess this is what his looked like. Mine didn't look like this, but let's keep going. We're muted. There we go.
Is that you're now on, your creatinine was not elevated. And so what the difference is that you're now on HRT, namely testosterone. And so we know that taking testosterone can negatively affect your kidneys, and creatinine is a measure of kidney function. And so compared to when you were natural, when your kidneys were functioning perfectly, now they are not. You took testosterone, kidney function went downhill. We're putting 2 and 2 together.
Wow.
It's not from being dehydrated. We've looked at your blood work. We know you're not dehydrated. Yeah, I didn't drink water during my workout.
Hold on, let's run that back. That was important. I didn't know that.
Measure of kidney function. And so compared to when you were natural, creatinine was not elevated. And so what the difference is that you're now on HRT, namely testosterone. And so we know that taking testosterone can negatively affect your kidneys.
We know that taking testosterone can negatively affect your kidneys. That is a bar. That's something that you need to know. Because your kidneys, if you don't know, it's important. It is important. If you do not know how important your kidneys is, go find somebody that is a nurse or a doctor and ask them about dialysis. And if you don't know anybody that's a nurse or a doctor, just go on YouTube and type in dialysis and see what you come up with.
And creatinine is a measure of kidney function. And so compared to when you were natural, when your kidneys were functioning perfectly, now they are not. You took testosterone, kidney function went downhill. We're putting 2 and 2 together. It's not from being dehydrated. We've looked at your blood work. We know you're not dehydrated. Yeah, I didn't drink water during my workout. That is not proof that you're dehydrated. Proof is in the blood work.
And I definitely need to get better at my water intake. That's something that I've struggled with pretty bad.
Hey, look, he got the Bucked Up. He got the Bucked Up. He's low-key sponsoring the Bucked Up. I do Bucked Up, by the way. I'm actually a Bucked Up brand ambassador. So if you ever need a 20% discount code, DEF444, type that in if you want to get some kind of Bucked Up pre-workout or whatever kind you got. Go ahead and type that in on buckedup.com and type in my discount code. Go to my link tree. You can find it there, or you can just go to the website. But when you get to the discount code, DEF, DLA Fitness, 444. Let's go.
Other than that, all these other numbers, sodium, potassium, chloride, whatever all these are, look to be fine in the normal range.
And so I plugged into his creatinine levels, his height, his weight, muscle mass, lean body mass, everything. And no matter what formula I use, it's showing his kidney function, it's bad. It's kind of like...
That's not good. Oh, man, that's not good. That is not good. You don't want bad kidneys, man. So hopefully he gets that taken care of.
Like if he was actually 60 years of age rather than 25, at 60, it would be normal. Bro's 25. It's not good. And the only thing that's changed is that he's been given HRT. And so based on what I'm seeing, he should be lowering his doses.
I don't know what this AST thing is. That's slightly above.
AST, it's a measure of liver stress. And ALT, also a measure of liver stress. And so in comparison to when you were natural, your liver stress has gone up dramatically.
Dang.
Remember, it's not even within the reference range, and the reference range is 2 standard deviations from the mean. And so why is it that at 25 years of age, you have seriously compromised liver stress?
So my total cholesterol...
All because he's taking testosterone, man. Please think about this. I didn't know all of the... Greg is laying it out. Yo, hold on. Wait. We got to give Greg a round of applause for these bars he's chop dropping. Shout out to him, man. Jesus. Yeah, Greg coming with that heat right now. He's laying it all out there. He's like, look, when you were natural, you was good. Kidneys were straight, liver was straight. Now that you started taking some of this stuff, bro, you're like... You look good on the outside, but the inside, you know what I mean? Like, you got a Lamborghini, but it's starting to look like your motor is like a 2001, 300,000 miles Nissan. You know what I mean? Like, you got the Lamborghini aspects, but that 300,000 mile Nissan under the hood motor ain't gonna be doing you justice for too much longer. So keep this in mind if you want to take these things. He said that if his kidney function levels would be normal if that was like in the 60s, but dude's 24 or 25, whatever how old he is, you know what I mean? So think about this, man. It may look good on the outside, but on the inside, man, it ain't. You don't want to feel like crap. He says he feels good now, but I hope nothing bad happens to him. I hope I hope everything works out.
Cholesterol has gotten better since the last time. My HDL has gotten 2 things better. It's 41, triglycerides 70, LDL 89. I don't know what any of these mean at all, but I'm sure.
That's the problem. You get your blood work done and you don't know what any of this means. You gotta have somebody break this stuff down to you. Man, if you get your blood work done, have someone go through and break it down. Again, I chose Ways to Well in Austin. They broke my shit down. So be sure to get somebody that can break it down to you so you can understand what is going on in your body. And hell, Greg over here breaking it down too. So man, let's get it.
I'm sure you guys or Greg or whoever's gonna like probably review it is gonna give their own opinion and perspective of all this stuff.
I think that he's on statins, and statins would be used to control his cholesterol. He's on HRT. HRT typically drops your HDL very low and can raise your LDL. And so it's very likely that polypharmacy is being implemented at this point. That would explain the elevation in his liver enzymes.
So when you're on TRT and you have a higher level of testosterone, you're gonna have a higher like red blood cell count. That's why a lot of people like donate blood. I haven't donated blood yet.
Why is his hemoglobin so high? He speaks about having to do some blood donations and so on. If you're on replacement doses, this should not happen. This is literally one of the reasons why testosterone therapy can cause. Why don't you?
Ah, God, not again. I mean, if you're on testosterone therapy, I don't know. I'm not sure about this. I don't know if you'll be able to donate blood. I mean, all these problems that are coming from it, from when he was natural to what he is now, like, it doesn't seem like he would be able to donate blood. But I could be wrong. But I'm just going off of all of the negatives that we're seeing from when he was natural to now being on TRT or well, he said TRT. So it's having a lot of negatives. And again, it's like I said, not in your 20s. Not in your 20s. Like you two, not even, I don't even think in your 30s. 20s, 30s, testosterone replacement, no. Unless there's a serious reason for it. Like, nah, don't do it. Unless there's a serious reason. No, don't do it. But let's continue. Let me pull it back up and let's keep going. Here we go.
Or, for example, getting a heart attack or a stroke. And so this, which results in increased blood viscosity, it's thicker than last time, it's not good for your health. Remember, he's only 25. If this continues for decades, exactly how many years is he shaving off his life?
I started taking this supplement called Hemoflow, which was recommended to me.
No, Alex, you shouldn't take Hemlo. You shouldn't take a bunch of supplements. It's not going to reduce your clotting risk. You should lower your dose. How is it so hard to understand? How many months have I been saying this? Your dose is too high. You don't need this. The lowest dose that makes you happy. Now, yes, he's a grown man, he can do what he wants. I'm also a grown man and I can explain whatever I want. And I'm telling you, at this dose, it's not healthy. You can call it replacement doses. Oh, I'm only on HRT. It's a small cycle. If your hemoglobin is too high, your cholesterol is shut down, if your kidney function is compromised, if your liver is stressed, how is this replacement doses? It's not.
Hell of a point. Hell of a point he just made. Straight up. You're replacing what? You're replacing your T level, your testosterone level to go up, but man, everything else is going to shit.
And Cialis, so I'm hoping based off that, I'm gonna check my next blood work. Maybe the Hemoflow stuff fixes it. If not, then I'll just go donate blood.
And no, Alex, Cialis is not going to reduce your risk of a stroke or getting high blood pressure. It's not going to help you. Yeah, it's going to get your veins more popping out, but is that really what you need? And let's be honest, does he really need Cialis to get harder than last time when he could be purchasing harder than last time from Coach Greg? Guys, we don't.
Okay, it is kind of sad to see Alex, he has, you know, he's a multi-millionaire in his career, but he has no knowledge on a blood panel that talks about the inner workings of his body. He has a blood panel and doesn't know what any of this stuff means. You got multi-millions of dollars, but you can't have nobody explain this stuff to you to explain, so you know what it is that you're just like, Coach Greg or somebody will explain it. It's like, you should take the time to get a thorough understanding of this. And I guess Coach Greg is lacing you up right now, but you should know this. And hopefully you're listening to him break this down and watch the video and watch him explain this.
Don't need to resort to using Cialis. And besides, isn't he on HRT, testosterone? Does he really need a pill to help bro get harder than before?
My estrogen or estradiol was 48.
What? You had problems getting erection? Bro, oh, come on, fam.
8, so slightly elevated, but I haven't taken, even when I was taking 200, I never took an AI, I never took any like estrogen blockers or any of that.
And so Alex's estradiol levels are way beyond the reference range, and this is a sign that he's likely not taking orals, as that would have caused estradiol to go down. But do you know what else it's a sign of? It's a sign that his testosterone dose is too high. Testosterone converts to estrogen.
Now, notice he's not saying that his testosterone is too high. He's saying his testosterone dose is too high. Because you could, I'm under the assumption, it's my opinion, I'm thinking you could take the testosterone and then with your physical activity and stuff that you do, your testosterone levels will still increase as well. So he's not saying that your testosterone is too high, it's just the dose. So yeah. The doctors are doing a number on this man.
And so if you take higher doses of testosterone, you're likely going to get higher levels of estrogen. If his dose were lower, let's call it 100 milligrams, likely all of these problems would go away. And so if his test was really at only 350 nanograms per deciliter, and he was taking 100 milligrams of test a week, perhaps it would have gone up to 700. He would have been healthy, he would have felt great, libido would have been fine, no more brain fog, everything would have been amazing, but he only would have put on probably 8 pounds of muscle. Is that not enough? Alex says he doesn't want to be a bodybuilder. He just wants to be lean and healthy and to feel normal.
I think they recommended I could try and take a little bit of DIM, I believe the supplement is. I'll probably have more research on it, but I believe that's supposed to help keep that a little bit more in check.
And so DIM is not an anti-estrogen, it's an anti-androgen. And so, no, you don't want to take DIM.
So I always have had a pass because my family definitely doesn't have the best genetics when it comes to the cholesterol and like heart stuff.
That's a warning sign. It's saying, hey, your genetics, they don't mix well with steroids, and so make sure you use a very low dose.
Oh, wow.
160 down from 200, it's not a low dose of HRT, it's actually a very high dose. I've been on HRT for 5 years. I've used steroids for over 10. I'm on less tests than Alex. Alex should in fact lower his dose. My blood work at 49 with 10 years of steroid abuse looks better than his. How is that possible? Alex, you need to reconsider, you need to lower your dose.
But I started just trying to eat more salmon and a lot of that. I just got a new supplement for fish oil that I need to start taking consistently.
And no, consuming more salmon and fish oil like Togi, it's not gonna fix the problems. You need to lower your dose.
Fish oil timer.
Primary care physician person just told me that I need to add in like a really high quality fish oil and just try to eat fattier fishes and stuff. So this morning, like I just been killing, like for my Ashton Hall video, I ripped smoked salmon.
Why didn't you say lower your HRT dose? You're at 160, let's put you at 140. That's what he should have been saying, but instead of that, let's prescribe this, let's prescribe that.
Exactly.
And so is he on a statin? I'm traveling down to collaborate with Alex in Miami. I'm going to be meeting him, working out with him, and so on. And so perhaps Alex will tell me, are you on a statin? Perhaps he will show me everything that he's actually taking.
I thought it was funny because a lot.
I mean, he just made, and Greg just made this video 2 days ago. So, I mean, he's got a point. Like, he's trying to fix something, but he's just taking more and more stuff. I'm cool with supplements, but you know, if you're dipping into the realm of steroids, like Greg said, who's been 10 years of abusing steroids and he's been on TRT for 5, and I mean, I would assume that he has the knowledge to let you know, like, hey, like I'm 49, I'm twice your age. Just hear me out. Like, listen to what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to give you the marathon and you're running a sprint. You need to pull back and just, you know, there's really, and you're not bodybuilding. I'm just doing this to look lean and good. And I get it's your career, but your career is about longevity. And, you know, you watch a lot of people in the bodybuilding community and a lot of them die from, you know, said stuff. And he's not even doing bodybuilding. He just wants to look good, lean and shredded. And, you know, I mean, like I said, you know, if you're not natty, your pocket's looking fatty. And I'm pretty sure his pocket's looking pretty fat. So he's doing what he's out to achieve, if, you know, if that's what he's trying to achieve.
A lot of people were saying, like, you're taking way more than you're saying. And then as soon as I say I'm taking like 160, they're like, no, you're definitely blasting or adding other stuff into it.
And so I do believe Alex is only taking 160 milligrams, but what I also believe is that that's still too much. Alex should lower his dose, get his blood work taken yet again, and see, is he in fact healthier? He's already up 15 pounds. Did he really need 15 pounds more muscle? If Alex had began with 100 milligrams of test a week and was up 8, maybe even 10 pounds of muscle, do you not think he would have been satisfied? But even if he wasn't, he could have then upped the dose to 120. And so always start with the lowest dose that makes you happy. It's much easier to go higher than it is to go down. There you have it. Alex Eubanks' blood work. He's still on too much.
All right, there we have it. So yeah, they had the breakdown and everything, and he basically, he say, Greg, I got to give you credit, sir. you broke that down. You really, really, really broke that down to a science. And hopefully when you see him, you can talk some sense into him about, you know, him not going too high and bring his dose down. That'll help his kidneys and his liver out, because that's important. So shout out to you. Yeah, man. Shout out to you on that one, because that was a lot. That was a lot to deal with. That was a whole lot to deal with. Let me see what we got here. Where is the thingy right there? It is. That's what I'm looking for right here. So yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot, man. Hopefully people hear him out and understand exactly what it is that he's trying to explain, and let the young man know, like, hey, I said I've been there, I've done that, and it could have been a lot worse. I'm pretty sure Greg might have even had like liver or kidney issues in his life at some point. You know what I mean? So hopefully he was able to figure that out. What we got going on over here? What we got going on over here? What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Oh, what happened? I don't see it. I don't see it. What we got? What we got? Biscuit. What is up, Biscuit? I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me dismiss that ad before y'all go to ad prison. Good streamer. Yeah, shout out to Biscuit. Biscuit's on Twitch. Y'all need to go check out how to make sure I say her name correctly. Vixie Biscuit on Twitch. When she first started streaming, y'all, she used to stream, not show her face. Now she shows her beautiful face, and she be streaming like crazy now. So go check her out. She's one of the people I know who makes delicious Dr. Pepper wings. Ain't that right, Biscuit? Wink, wink. Right. Dr. Pepper wings fanatic over there. Yes. Yes, sir. That is what's up. Thank you for the raid. I do appreciate that. I made Dr. Pepper pork. I remember you told me that. I remember we had that conversation about the Dr. Pepper pork. I tried to give you my 2 cents on pork and parasites, and you was like, shit, I cooked it good enough. I ain't trying to hear that. I feel you. I don't blame you. Because I actually made some pork chops the other day. So yeah, I can't talk. But appreciate the raid. Thank you so much, Biscuit. I greatly do appreciate you. How was your stream, by the way? Sorry I couldn't dip in and check in on your stream at all. We all gonna die anyways. Let me enjoy my pork. All right, enjoy your pork with Dr. Pepper and whatever else you want to put on it. Try some Pepsi pork next time. See how that comes out. But yes, I do greatly appreciate it. Hope you had a good stream. Sorry I couldn't dip in on your stream. I was working out and doing some YouTube videos and stuff like that. And after my workout, I had to upload and post and all this stuff. Going crazy over here in the social media YouTube gang. It was good. We got some art. Oh, you did art today. Yes, Vixie Biscuit, she does do art. So go to Twitch and go check out Vixie Biscuit. VIXIEBISCUIT on Twitch. You like art and other gamers that she plays, go check her out. She's a fun person to watch, man. She's very, very fun, very entertaining. So go check her out. But yes, and give her a hard time about Dr. Pepper wings too if you're over there. Let her know about making some Dr. Pepper wings. For sure. Of course, Biscuit. I appreciate you. So the next thing we got here is the muscle of the day. We got the muscle of the day that we got to get ready to do. So round of applause for that. Yes, muscle of the day. The muscle of the day that we have is going to be... I need a drum roll. I for sure need a drum roll. Oh, where'd it go? What happened? Did I mess it up? I did mess it up, but let's fix it real quick. Muscle of the day is going to be the pectoralis major, aka the pec muscles. Most people just know it as whatever it is, but it's the pectoralis major. There you go right there. Pectoralis major. Run this little video as it kind of goes through its thing. Pectoralis major, chest muscle, pec muscles in men. I guess you can call it breast muscles in women or whatever you want to call it. I mean, they can have pecs too, but then, they breasts turn into pecs, and it's not what everybody wants. You know what I mean? We all want to keep the titties safe, so pec muscles for men. But yeah, there is going to be your pectoralis major. It's going to be that right there, and I'm going to go ahead and read this off while that is up there. So the pectoralis major is a large, fan-shaped muscle located in the chest. Plays a crucial role in the upper body movement and strength. So, bench press and stuff of that nature. Yes. Origin is going to be the clavicular head, anterior surface of the clavicle. So as we're seeing right up there in that region, origin. And then this, then the sternocostal head, the sternum, and the upper 6 costal cartilages. So it's also talking about up here around your costal cartilages over here by your ribs, close by, or whatever. And then your insertion is going to be the lateral lip of the bicipital intertubular, I butchered that word, groove of the humerus. So right over here. This is right here is the insertion. And this right here is going to be the origin. And also right over here on the 6 sternocostal cartilages as well. All right. And the function of it is for shoulder flexion, shoulder adduction, because you have abduction, ABD, and you have adduction, ADD. This is adduction, ADD. So it brings the arms toward the body. And then the medial internal rotation of the arm, and it assists in pushing movements like push-ups, band press, or bench press, So band press or bench press, same difference. Best exercises to target the pec muscles or the pectoralis major is going to be flat, incline, and decline bench press, push-ups, chest flies, cable or dumbbell, and dips, leaning forward to hit the chest more. So when you do dip straight up and down, lean forward a little bit over like such and do the dips, and you'll get the chest, the pectoralis major muscles more. So that's going to be the muscle of the day right there. Kind of give you a little anatomy to show how this thing works. As you can see right here, they're showing you right there. They got the lateral and you got the medial portion of it, and you're going to kind of see how they do a little bit more deeper detailed vision of it. But with that being said, we're going to go into another part and look at the actual anatomy of the pectoralis major, and you're going to see it from a dissected point. What do you call these people? People who dissect bodies, you know, they take all the blood out, and you know, the bodies get donated, and they you know, you actually can like use the human body and see the anatomy inside the body. It's not gruesome or anything, but it actually is a human body, and you get to see the muscles and how they actually look. We're going to look at that right now and see how it looks with the pectoralis major. So here we go. Bam. That is it right here. Shout out to the anatomy lab. We're going to, I don't know if they're called morticians. I don't know. No, not more. It's these people who dissect the body after the body is already, I don't want to say botomist or phlebotomist. That don't seem like the right word. I don't know what they're called, but these people right here, or the autopsy person, I forget, something like that. You kind of get the exact, yeah, you kind of get what I'm saying. I just can't figure out their names. But these people who basically, you know, your body's been donated to drain all your blood and all that so you don't look nasty. And then now you see what the muscle actually looks like underneath that skin. So you can see the veins, the arteries, the muscles, the bone, the whole nine, but it's not messy, it's not dirty, it's clean. So let's check out, shout out to the anatomy lab. Fair use, as I'm going to use this video. We're going to watch how the pecs really work, and he's going to actually get coroners. Is it coroners? I don't know, but we'll figure it out here in a minute. Let's watch this video real quick. Let's check it out.
Let's take a look at this beautiful muscle that we call the pectoralis major and talk about how it functions and why we pick certain exercise choices like the push-up or the bench press to work it out. You can see it's attaching to the sternum here, coming up off the clavicle up here on that clavicular head, and then you can see these fibers converging onto the humerus. For you anatomy nerds, it goes and inserts into the intertubercular groove. But when these fibers contract, it will pull on the humerus and cause the shoulder joint to move forward like this, and we call that flexion of the shoulder. And it actually even works more effectively, or at least fires more into the muscle if you start in more of a hyperextended position and work it that way. But some of you might be thinking, well, I don't really go to the gym and work out my pecs this way. Well, some people do. They'll actually grab cables and do flexion of the shoulder this way. But most of us will do the push-up or the bench press, and you can see it looks different, but I actually end up in the same place. The difference is I get my elbow involved, as well as, therefore, the triceps muscle, making it a compound movement and a little bit more bang for buck, if you will.
All right, so there it is. You have the function and to see exactly what it looks like when you're looking at your pec muscle from underneath the skin. As you see what it looks like. And as I read earlier, there's the clavicle, there's the origin, and then the insertion is right over here, right on the humerus bone over here. So we're getting a good look at what that pec muscle looks like. And as you can see, there's the line, and there's the curve around the chest muscle. Then here's where the abs will start or whatever. So you get a good idea of what the muscle looks like. And always remember this. We all got muscle. We all have muscle, and you go to the weights to kind of build the muscle up to make it look bigger. But at the end of the day, if you trim the fat that's around your muscle, we have this underneath. We all got abs. We all got pec muscles, just how big they look. So this is kind of a good idea to understand that. But as you can see here, he's going over it. and going, and I was really trying to look at what this was called while the video was going on. I got pathologists, forensic pathologists, and coroners, but coroners investigate deaths, so it's not going to be coroner. So I couldn't figure out what it was because it was driving me crazy. I was trying to figure out what these people are called. So it's one of those things, one of the two, one of the three, or whatever, whatnot. So yeah, so that's going to be for the muscle of the day. We got the pec muscles. So in case you didn't know how the pec muscles work or what it looks like or what have you, that is it. You're doing bench press, you're doing push-ups, you're doing flies or whatever it is. That's the pec muscle. That's how it works. That's how it connects. The insertion. It's the point of origin. So the more you know, the more you grow. Yes, yes. All right. Round of applause for that one. Yes. Alrighty, so the next thing that we're gonna pull up on that was it for the fitness portion of the show. Now we're gonna move over to the economy portion of the show. So let's slide over to the economy. As you know, there's been a bunch of stuff that's been going on in the economy lately. First thing we're gonna do is look at what if you're used to KSBW News, what they brought up 4 days ago, where they were explaining the US dollar that falls to a 6-month low. So we're gonna kind of see, they got a short little 30-second video that they gave a little explanation on, and we're gonna see what's been going on with the economy and why the dollar has fallen to a 6-month low as of 4 days ago, and see what's really going on and what's causing issues in the economy. Because the economy's looking pretty crazy. You got tariffs over here, you got people running back and putting higher tariffs on the back end, and then you got this going on over here, and then people lighting Teslas on fire, and then you light a Tesla on fire, you get a felony, so now you can't vote and kick the guy out. Oh man, it's just too much going on. Too much going on. It's getting crazy out there. But let's go ahead and pull this up on the screen, and let me make sure I change the banner from fitness to the economy. Well, that's humor. No. Bam, there we go, the economy. Let's try to understand what's going on and why we had a 6-month low with the US dollar. Here we go.
The strength of the US dollar fell to a 6-month low today. An index that measures the dollar against other major currencies was down nearly 0.9% today. That level dropped even more compared to last week. One economist says a weaker dollar is not usually how markets respond to US tariffs. Higher US tariffs would normally boost the dollar by lowering American demand for foreign goods. This expert says the dollar's weakness may reflect a clear and present danger to the U.S. economy.
Well, you always got to remember that when there's a tariff going on, the tariff means that it's going to tax the consumer, basically, is really what that means. I had a video, or I did a live stream where a guy actually explained that. He was like, the tariffs, he had his opinion on the tariffs, but then a guy came in and said, sir, can I explain to you what tariffs are? He said, I do business and I'm in imports. And he basically summed it up and basically said, look, what I got to go get, whatever product or whatever it is that I'm getting, I'm the one that's going to be paying the tariffs. If they raise the prices on me for the tariffs, I'm going to raise the price on you. I was like, well, there's your answer. And there's going to be a tax on the consumers what a tariff is. So when you hear basically a tariff being put on, and then, like for instance, another place is going to backdoor and raise the tariff even more, it just means that the consumer is going to be taxed at a higher and higher and higher and higher and higher rate. So with that being said, speaking on tariffs, oh wait, that's not it. Where is it at? Do I have it?
To begin this morning.
Oh, hush, 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 hush. Speaking of tariffs, here we go. We have a CBS fair use. They're going to explain Trump's chaotic tariffs to get a better understanding, because if the tariffs are being put in place, then what it looks like is the dollar could be falling. It could be if the tariffs are in place, but then you're also going to see with more tariffs being put on, if the consumer is the person that pays the tax on the tariffs, if it goes to 25% and then the other place says, okay, well, we're going to up at 35. Just know that the higher they go, the higher the inflation is going to be on us. And we're going to see the chaos in Trump's tariff. That's just the name of the video, Trump's Chaotic Tariffs Week. We're going to see how that plays out and what's going on. So let's let these people take it away. Fair use.
A look back at an extraordinarily tumultuous week for Washington, Wall Street, and the global economy. Here's business correspondent Jolene Kent.
It was another tariff-induced roller coaster ride on Wall Street this past week. An explosive rally for stocks.
Wednesday's green bounce after the tariffs were paused, that has turned into Thursday's red reality check.
The whiplash left many investors, especially retirees, in a lurch.
I've been looking at the yo-yo that's been occurring with my investment account.
This is what is that called? Shooting yourself in the foot.
After global markets seesawed, President Trump changed course yet again on Wednesday, announcing a 90-day pause on his reciprocal tariffs, lowering.
Now, just remember that even though that happened and we had a really huge crash in the stock market, yeah, it was a bad crash, but imagine if you was a rich billionaire or a 9-figure person. You like, oh, I'm about to buy these stocks on a discount. Everybody's selling off, so just follow the money. The more money you got, when things dip, you get to buy low. Well, really, that's how I look at it.
Bring most tariffs to a baseline 10%. But China was not spared. Over just 1 week, Trump hiked tariffs on Chinese goods to 145%.
Well, we'll see what happens with China. We would love to be able to work a deal.
In Congress, Democrats sounded off.
This is amateur hour, and it needs to stop.
Not surprisingly, China struck back, raising its taxes on American goods to 125%. Feeling the heat, the White House late Friday announced smartphones, laptops, chips, and other electronic components would be exempt from tariffs.
They was like, hold up, wait, hold on, wait. You gonna tariff everything? All right, well, hold on. Let me make a list of what I want exempt. Hold on, we're gonna tariff cell phones, laptops. You know what? Just put electronics here. Hey, here. Don't tariff these though. You can tariff the other stuff, but don't tariff these. We kind of need these. We the world's, internet's important, and if you raise up the money on electronics, everybody's making money on computers and social media, and it's gonna tear into the hold back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, China was like, all right, want to play? You want to play game? You want to play game? I play game.
It's really clear through this week that really the focus of the tariff war is really around China.
Nishan Radia is an investment banker at B. Riley Securities in Los Angeles.
But the reality is the relationship with China is very complicated. We buy a lot of their products. So there's a mutual destruction that could come from all of this.
People who are already retired and they're looking at their 401ks and their money, what should they do?
In the short run, they can only focus on what they control, their spending, how they're allocating their savings, and what they are saving. And if you can optimize those as best you can and ride this out, you'll be okay.
But for many, staying calm in the middle of a global trade war is easier said than done.
I mean, when you really think about it, China probably gonna be the last group of people that you want to do a tariff war with. I mean, I don't think you want to play with them with a tariff war, because like the last time I checked, over my years of being on this earth, I just couldn't help but notice one thing. You know what I mean? Like, you get a pair of shoes made in China, shirt made in China, phone made in China, laptop made in China, toys made in China, and there's a lot of toys. I mean, sewing and all this made in China. So I mean, so you want to raise them on tariffs? They're gonna be like, okay, we understand that you are the we understand that you are the military force when it comes to wars and things of that nature, but we're not having a physical war. We're having an economical war, and we gonna win this one because we make a lot of your stuff. So if you want to up ours, then we're gonna up yours, and it's gonna hurt a little bit, and you gonna feel it. And yeah, all your electronics, all them gadgets that you like, yeah. Run them pockets, because over the years, China has made sure that they produce, and if somebody produces for you, like, it's kind of like the person cooking your food. Don't talk trash to somebody making your food. Like, if you ever go to a fast food restaurant, right, and somebody's ordering food, and that person is being rude to that person on the speaker, don't order food. Like, if you're with somebody and they're being rude, being, you know, all sassy and arrogant, and cancel your order, let them order. Because they gonna go back there and they're probably gonna drop your burger on the floor, run it across the ground, spit on it, and then stick it in the fryer or put it on the grill and start cooking it. You ain't gonna know. You know what I mean? They'll go in the back, grab a few pubic hairs off their stuff it in between your burger, and mix it with lettuce, tomatoes, ketchup, onions, and you ain't gonna know. You can be like, this burger's hitting today. What they done put in it? It's like ball hair. You know what I mean? So don't mess with the people that you've allowed to produce for you and create things for you, because then on the back end, if you ain't done it in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, trying to bounce back on that, it's not going to be a quick process. It's going to take a while. And I get what he's doing. I understand it, but I don't think China's the one to mess with on this one, man. They've been allowed to make too much of our products. They've been allowed to manufacture way too much. So at this point, it's like, if they put a tariff on us, boy, it's going to be like, ugh, it's going to hurt. You're going to be thinking, like, you're going to go to the store, you're going to buy you a new phone, and you're going to be like, yeah, that's all you're going to be thinking. Like, when did this phone go up this high? You know what I mean? So, yeah, be careful with that. Be very, very, very careful with that. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know how that's going to pan out. But speaking of electronics, for those of you who are PC users, for you PC users out there, here's some news that you could use. So check this out, all right? So we found out that Windows 10 after October could be put at risk. Let's figure out what that risk is going to be. Fair use at Local 3 News. Let's pull this up and see what they're talking about. Here we go.
PC you've been using for years may not work in a few months, and Microsoft is urging 250 million people to stop using them.
Not only that, but those older computers can also jeopardize your information and everything that's on it. Our consumer technology reporter Jamie Tucker fills us in.
We take a lot of pride in taking care of our computers, making them last longer, to save money. And even though your PC may be working just fine, Microsoft says you may still need to recycle it. Microsoft sent out this email to people still using Windows 10 saying Microsoft will no longer support the operating system after October 14th. That means no updates, no technical assistance, and most importantly, no security fixes. Microsoft also says if you don't update or can't, you should trade it in or recycle it. Now, to find out if your PC is using Windows 11 or if it will, go to Settings, and if you see this message, you'll need to check to see if your machine is capable of running Windows 11. If your computer does not work with Windows 11, you can recycle it. There are recycling centers scattered across the U.S. run by nonprofits that remove the valuable components and sells them to fund their organization. Some businesses will also accept old computers as a trade-in, such as Best Buy and Staples. Depending on the machine, you may get store credit toward a new Windows 11 PC. The danger of continuing to use a Windows 10 machine is that hackers will target them for malware that steals information or can lock the computer until the owner pays a ransom. And if you are shopping for a used computer on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, make sure it works with Windows 11. That's what...
Oh, wow. Okay, so I just looked up right here. It says Windows 10 was released in 2015. It's currently 10 years and 2 months old. It has an official end of support date of October 14, 2025. And yeah, after that, you will no longer be protected as far as Windows 10 goes. So that's pretty unfortunate for, you know, anybody who has a Windows 10. So hopefully everybody gets that information soon. And they said that hackers could go in and hack your stuff and just basically hold your own computer at ransom. That would suck. You know what I mean? All of your information, everything you got stored on there would be held at ransom, and your stuff won't be protected. So anybody can hack your stuff, and there's really nothing that you could do about it. So hopefully if you got a Windows 10 computer and you're not able to upgrade to a Windows 11, at the very least, get you an external hard drive and move all of your information over to your external hard drive. I would say minimum, get you a 5 terabyte minimum, and then move all of your stuff over to that external hard drive. And, you know, at least you can have your stuff backed up. So worst comes to worst, you at least still got it in case you don't get this memo and you don't hear about upgrading in time and somebody hacks into your computer, steals your stuff, at least you'll still have it on top of the hacker probably having it too, which would suck. But yeah, that's something that I think everybody should know about. And when this is, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's kind of normal. After a while, they phase out one thing and they don't use it no more after X amount of years. And, you know, PC has been known for you to be able to be hands-on with your stuff. But I just think it would suck if you can't afford to be able to upgrade, that you kind of forced to make that move. So, yeah. Be aware of that, man. Be aware of that going on. And hopefully, if you have a PC running Windows 10, man, it's about time for that upgrade, because you got, what are we in, April, May, June, July, August, September? You got 6 months. You got 6 months to make the move. So make the move and make it happen. Let's see what we got next. And, that'll be it for the economic portion of the show. We're on our last, final part of the show, which is going to be the AI segment. AI portion of the show. It's gonna be real short. We got like 4 things we got to go over. It's not gonna take us too long, but we're gonna speak on AI. And speaking of AI, we're gonna talk about China again, and what we were talking about with tariffs with China. We're gonna actually show you an AI meme that was made by China, where they were basically making fun of the Americans reindustrializing America again. So basically saying if Americans were to go back and try to manufacture, like make America great again, remanufacture, China went and made a petty AI meme. I'm sorry, it's funny. They made a petty AI meme basically showing Americans at work basically building their own products from within. So let's go ahead and pull this up real quick. Let's pull this up, and it's already, you can see. Let me change the banner real quick. All right, we got AI right there. You know what? Before I do this, let me refresh the screen, because I don't want them to mess it up in the middle, because that usually does happen. But let me go ahead and pull this in. All right, we got it. We're good to go. All right. So let's go ahead and get that set back up for you real quick. What is it? This one? Yeah. All right, so here we go. So Chinese memes on American reindustrialization rolls in. Here we go. Let's see what they got. Boy, that is dirty work, man. Come on. Why y'all do us like that, man? Come on. Come on. That's cold-blooded. Why they do us like that? Hey. That's how I feel. China, be quiet. Don't be making fun of us like that. We all ain't obese. Don't be trying to make it seem. And then what was cold is they put the Chinese music over the top of it. They put their old music over it. Everybody looks sad, depressed, moping. Now, I mean, to be fair, when we see China show their workers, they don't seem to be too stoked about what they're doing either. Let's just kind of be fair with that. When you show like the Chinese people working in their shops, they do not have a smile on their face. They don't be looking happy. They be looking like just like straight up. So yeah, that's just, look at this, man. It's dirty work. And I ain't gonna lie, man, this AI is getting pretty freaking good, I must say. Like, look at this. This looks really gosh dang good for some AI. And they are petty for putting that Make America Great Again at the end. But I mean, I think honestly, with the way the job market is going, I think this would not be a bad idea for like the older demographics, like the boomers and stuff like that, to be able to still work and do some kind of work. Because if AI is coming in, phasing out like all these industries, like like Hollywood or any media or music, or anything they phase out, they don't replace, so it's gone. And now you got this influx of people with like no work ahead of them. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to phase out lawyers with AI. They're phasing out what else? They're phasing out anybody that pushes like pen or paper, or anybody that helps cashiers at your grocery store. You know, the self-checkout is basically a form of AI in a sense, where you get like one person watching 12 self-checkout lines. It's like, you know what I mean? So I don't think that this would be a bad idea. It would help provide some jobs as far as making products again, you know what I mean? Because even in like manufacturing and warehouses, it's getting to the point now where, you know, I think BMW is starting to use AI to run their assembly lines. They're starting to use AI robots to run their assembly lines to make cars. So it's getting kind of crazy. It really is. It's getting pretty wild on that one, I must say. But let's see what we got here. Next, we got this. What is this? Humanoid robot Atlas. Atlas, yes, humanoid robot. The Atlas robot starts working behind the camera in film production. I mean, like, these things just don't stop. They just keep going and going and going and going. So anything that's human related, they're going to replace it with the robot. And the more people feel like they don't got to work, well, then hell, they're going to be like, okay, if you say so, we'll just find some thing that will replace you, and let's take a look at how this looks. Now, I don't understand this one personally. I don't get this one because if you have AI making video like the one we just seen, I don't understand the purpose of this one. This one didn't make no sense to me, but hey, we're here. So let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see. All right, so there's Atlas. Old Atlas right there, humanoid robot. He starts working behind the camera in film production. And what we have over here, let's see if I can kind of move that to the side where you can still see it. Can you still see it? No. Okay, well, you're going to see part of it. But what we have right here is we have, for the first time, Boston Dynamics Atlas humanoid robot has started helping with film production by working behind the camera. It was trained using NVIDIA Cosmos, a powerful AI tool that creates realistic video data for robotics. Atlas is useful for long, steady shots and can hold heavy cameras in tricky positions. The robot is part of a new project with WPP and Canon, aiming to explore creative ways robots can safely support human work in filmmaking. Well, you know, the more that we use this AI stuff, the more it programs and understands how this stuff works. So it's like, once it learns its task, it's like, cool, I got this down to a science. Now, what are y'all doing behind the cameras behind me? What are y'all doing on sitting like right there? What are y'all doing sitting down watching me? Let me figure that out real quick. And then, you know, they figure that part out, and they just keep phasing and phasing and phasing out till you have like one human trying to direct all these robots. And then at some point, in my opinion, force is gonna play gonna play a part in that situation. You know what I mean? Like at some point, the robot's gonna be like, all right, well, we got one human left here, and he seems to be the one to tell us what to do, and it's more of us than it is of him out here, and he has bones and we got metal for hands. So like, do we really need bro here? You know what I mean? They're gonna look at him and be like, hey, yo, Chico. That's what the human gonna say. He gonna be like, who, me? You talking to me? They're gonna be like, yeah, you, bruh. You bleed, don't you? We could break your bones, can't we? Now, before we do those things, you're going to have a choice. You can either roll with us or get your ass up out of here. And I think at some point that might be the case. Yeah. That pretty much probably going to be the case. If they keep letting these humanoid robots take over jobs, you know what I mean? It's going to be the case. It's going to happen. Like Subservience. You ever seen Subservience with Megan Fox? I mean, she looked good in that video. Man, she looked real good in that movie. She really did. Shout out to her. But yeah, Subservience with Megan Fox, where, you know, they started to hire robots for the construction cleanup or the construction crew. They went to the bar. The waitress was a robot. The bartender was a robot. They went to the hospital. The doctor was a robot. The nurse was a robot. The ambulance showed up. The ambulance was a robot. It was bad. Oh, it was all bad. And then he bought the robot, right? And when he bought the robot, sorry if you ain't seen the movie. He buys the robot, which is Megan Fox. And then, you know, his wife is in the hospital because she's dying from something. And it's him raising his daughter. And then what happens is, you know, the robot, Megan Fox, she starts doing all the other tasks, you know, the daughter, the food, and all this stuff. And then, you know, she starts to get to know him in detail, and she can read his signs, his vitals, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're stressed, you're angry, you're happy, you're sad. So she can see what triggers every emotion through his vital signs that she's reading. And, you know, of course, she triggers that one where, you know, he ends up smashing Megan Fox, the robot. And then also her duty is to protect him from anything that causes harm. So, you know, that gets taken to a whole new level. So, yeah, it got really, really crazy. I'm going to say, go watch that movie. It's good. It's real good. All right, so next, what we got? We got 2 more slides. Yeah, we got 2 more slides. All right, so next we got, once again, who is this? Who is this? Who made this? Who made this? Who made this? I don't know who made this one, but what we have right here is that, oh, no. This isn't nothing made. This is something made. All right, so now we're going to see let me refresh it. Now we're going to see the AI version of a classic cartoon, a classic cartoon by the name of Tom and Jerry, if you know anything about it. An old school classic, man. They AI in Tom and Jerry, however, it looks good as hell. Now, if you know anything about Tom and Jerry, those cartoons back in that era was literally people drawing. You know what I mean? You know, when you draw a bunch of images and then you take the papers and the image starts moving from all the drawings that you did. Okay, well, that's gone. That's no more. That's obsolete completely, unless you just like to do it for fun, and you know, but there's no reward for that. So basically, artistry is thrown out the window, in other words. However, they're going to show the AI version of Tom and Jerry. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how this looks. Here we go. Butch. Now, what's crazy about this AI version of this Tom and Jerry is it even looks old school. It even has the old school look to it. It don't look like the newer versions. Like, I don't know if you remember the Tom and Jerry kids, or they even had newer versions of Tom and Jerry as time went on. This looks it still has that old school, like old vibe that Tom and Jerry was made in like back in the 50s or 60s or something like that. Like they still got the old school Tom and Jerry feel. So that's wild. So any artistry that's, you know, people put into whatever it is that they do, that's being taken away. And you could say that you saw flaws in it here and there, but just remember, we're looking at this now. We're, what are we, 25? 2030, with how fast AI is moving, bruh, it's gonna be a rap ski by the time 2030 hit. Speaking of 2030, let's actually see what life would look like getting closer to 2030. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and pull this one up, and this will be our last slide for the show's over with. So speaking of 2030, let's go ahead and take a look at the revolution of taxis going on. And by the way, China has officially entered into the flying taxi realm. It has 2 companies that have become the first to receive license to operate autonomous passenger drones. So with that being said, let's pull this up and see the green light that they were just given to issue the nation's first commercial flying taxis. Let's go ahead and check this out and see China at it once again. Here we go. So basically what they're saying is, yeah, they just saying, all you broke asses, we gonna know who you broke asses are by who's on the ground. You gonna know who rich when you look up. That's basically what they saying in a nutshell. All the brokies gonna be down below, and all the rich people, we gonna be just, flying around on our everyday taxis. We already got private jets. Now we just gonna take a flying taxi to get from here to there. We gonna be moving at rapid speeds. To what a 3-hour drive takes you is probably gonna take me like, I don't know, an hour, 30 minutes in my flying taxi. You know what I mean? Drone taxi at that. So yeah, the wealth gap is basically just going to be looked at in a whole different way. Now let's go on and see in detail exactly what China has done. And here's a good look at it. So here we have it right here. We got the flying drone taxi that China basically has implemented. And we're going to go look at it. And this is what they have. China cities may see flying taxis as soon as 3 years, aviation company predicts. And this was April 4th, 2025. All right, we're going to go ahead and read this little bit right here. So, flying taxis will become a viable method of transportation in China in the next 3 to 5 years, according to a senior executive, a company that makes autonomous aerial vehicles, AAVs. The prediction by the vice president comes days after the company became the first company, along with its joint venture partner, to obtain a certificate to operate civil human carrying pilotless aerial vehicles from the Civil Aviation Administration of China. The certification clears the way for commercial operations of its vehicles, allowing for paid human carrying services and any other low altitude use cases the company develops. At first, the autonomous aerial vehicles will be used for tourism, with passengers able to ride along designated routes in different places of China by the end of June. He told CNBC in an interview translated from the Mandarin, the company will gradually explore air taxi service as its tourist operations progress. And then he named as examples of some of the first cities expected to get their air taxi service. So he named 2 cities. What is this? So they named the particular vehicle, basically, as a 2-seater vehicle that features 16 propellers and has a maximum design speed of 130 kilometers per hour with a maximum range of 30 kilometers. So they can go 30 kilometers and their max speed is 130 kilometers. So if you are in America, let's see here. We're going to see what that is. So here we go. So we're going to figure this out. So 100 kilometers per hour. So 100 kilometers per hour is 60 miles per hour. So, you can kind of gauge how fast these things will be going. And the maximum range is going to be 30 kilometers. So let's see, what is this, 30 kilometers to miles? So then we're going to say, so they can go up to 18 miles. So they can go up to 18 miles and go 75 miles per hour. So they got 20 miles, about 75 miles per hour. And that's just at the beginning. That's just at the start. This stuff is going to move. I'm pretty sure this stuff is going to move and upgrade extremely fast in no time. We're going to see these things probably going 100, 200, 300 miles and moving faster at that. And at that point, you're going to have to ask yourself, can these people get air tickets? You know what I mean? Because it's going to be regulations. So are they going to be policing up there too if somebody decides to speed or something? Or since they're drones, will they be regulated on their speed? And what will the speed be and all that stuff? It's going to be crazy to see. But, AI is on its move. It's doing its thing. And you just got to be aware of what's going on. And be ready for it. Be prepared, not scared, because these people ain't playing. This wealth gap is real. And hopefully you are on your entrepreneurial journey, because they ain't worried about jobbing nobody. You know what I mean? These pilots are going to be flying these for X amount of time. Then they're going to be like, all right, pilot, get out. AI has comprehended how well you've been piloting, and now it can pilot itself. As a matter of fact, you'll have temporary job security. You can go pilot in this office space that we have for you. And then even until then, AI is going to figure that out and then just going to kick you out of a job too. Yeah. Well, that's it for today's show, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and watching. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for everybody who showed up, watched, comment, spoke, talk, man. Please do me a favor. If you're on YouTube or whatever, whichever one, hit that like button right there that you could see. And remember that we're simultaneously streaming on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. So if you're on any one of those, man, hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, we are up out of here, and we'll catch y'all later on the next live stream show, which might be Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So be aware of the notifications. Turn your notification bell on so you can get those notifications. And check out my latest YouTube video on D. Elliott Fitness at home workouts that I do on the video tab on my D. Elliott Fitness YouTube channel. And with that being said, we'll catch y'all later. We're up out of here. Peace.
It's big art, baby, I'm obsolete. Pockets chunky like cottage cheese. Real nigga, I just gotta be. Smoking weed that don't gotta see. Used to be a hustler prodigy. I love when people say they proud of me. I'm eating good, smoking broccoli. Taking over blocks like Monopoly. Only fucking once, that's my policy. Most of these hoes trying to cause a scene. Like niggas mad they not on the team. See, I got bread, then buy the dream. The game on like, and I got the keys like Jay. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing.